Hi, I'm Celia Boothman, founder of LTR Coaching, and I'd like to welcome you to the Inspired Triathletes podcast, where I'll be bringing you stories from female triathletes and taking on topics that are important to women in the sport. Hello and welcome. So today I'm going to be talking to Helen Murray from the Inside Tri show. And Helen is a triathlete and presenter. And what else do you do? Do you do any other stuff?
Yeah, the main thing is a cancer rehab instructor, but I can tell you about that.
Amazing. Oh, cool. So that's your day job and you work that full time?
Yep, so I do that 4 days a week, and then I do media stuff 1 day a week, and then that's pretty much it. And then the podcast, I don't do a weekly podcast anymore. I'm going to do a
Right.
one-off series later this year, but I had been doing triathlon podcasts for about 9 years, so.
Oh, amazing. Yeah, because I remember listening to the Inside, you were on Oxygen Addict, weren't you, before?
Yep.
And then you set up your own podcast, the Inside Tri show. And I remember when you
That's
set
right.
it up and I was listening to it on my turbo.
Yeah, exactly. I think I've entertained many people on their turbos or their long
Yeah,
runs, and yeah. So no,
yeah,
absolute
definitely.
pleasure.
Okay, well, yeah, it's really great to speak with you and have you on. So thank you for that. So really just want to get like a bit of a background on, how long you've been doing triathlon, what kind of got you into the sport, and yeah, we'll start there. That's
Yeah,
enough questions.
yeah. No, that's up. So I have been doing triathlon since 2011,
Okay.
and I was always at school. I was always the one who would be picked for the 800 meters, the 1500 meters. Like, I was good within my year at school. I wasn't necessarily much better than that. I'd always come, I'd never come last when you were running for the school against other schools locally,
Yeah.
but I would literally never, ever, ever win it. Cross country, I'd be again, mid pack. And then if
Yeah.
you represented Wrexham schools, I would then be like right at the back. So yeah, so always grew up doing different sports. I could keep going. I would be put on the wing in hockey. But again, I never did anything more than just play for school. Like, the thing I loved growing up was tennis.
Right.
Absolutely loved tennis. I was a Mould area under 10 singles short tennis winner. I was just like
Amazing.
very proud of that one.
Yeah,
Uh, and then, yeah, I learned to swim through, again, it would have been at school, or more through the village, actually. There was one guy who I met the other day, Celia, and I said to him, Dave, I hope you realise just how amazing what you have done for the children of this village is. Like, he literally set up a swimming club 40 years ago and
wow.
taught all these people in the village to swim. But it was kind of through the primary school, but at the same time, it wasn't anything to do with the primary school. He named it the Primary School Swimming Club,
Yeah.
but it wasn't the teachers that were involved. It was like this dad, and it's still going. And I'm like,
Oh,
that's
wow.
awesome. That is
Yeah,
so
that's
cool,
so good. We need
isn't
more of
it?
that stuff. Like
Yeah. So
people
I did.
just
I saw him at the supermarket. I said, Dave, I wouldn't have appreciated this as a youngster, but you need to know. It's amazing. So yeah,
yeah.
learned to swim as a youngster that way. And then, as I got older, I think I'd quit swimming by the age of 11. So again, it wasn't like I grew up as a
Mm.
swimmer. But yeah, did loads of sports at school, loved it, didn't really excel at anything. Enjoyed running through university as a way to keep fit. And when I was 21, I did the London Marathon with my dad dressed as a fairy. And
Was he
again,
dressed as a fairy
he was
as
also
well?
dressed as a fairy.
Nice.
He was. I said, "Come on, Dad, let's get into this. Let's do it dressed as fairies." So yes, he was like his was a little bit more. I don't know. These local people made it for us. These two little tutus. His had a bit more brown, so he looked like a swamp fairy. So they'd
Okay.
clearly run out of green material at that point. Uh,
Yeah,
anyway, he got a lot of cheers. But it's the
I
sort of
bet.
thing. Honestly, it took us. I can't remember if it was like 5 hours 20 or 6 hours 20. So it really was doing it to raise money. But I had grown up watching it, loving it, thinking, I want to do that when I'm 18.
Yeah.
I didn't do it when I was 18. I did the Great North Run with my mum when I was 18. And again, talking of like 2 hours 45. So very
Yeah.
much doing these things as challenges and feeling inspired as a youngster by watching them on TV and thinking that's amazing. I want to do that one day.
Yeah.
And then yeah, basically did lots of running in my late 20s, fell off my bike commuting to work, got injured and thought, well, I can't run. I
Mm.
want to do all these challenges to raise money before I'm 30. A triathlon's going to be one of them, and really enjoyed it. And it went
Wow.
from there.
So what did you do? Like a sprint,
I
or
did a
was it?
sprint. Yep, sprint triathlon, pool. It was with a pool swim, and I was petrified, and I nearly didn't do it because I was on my period, and I was so worried about the whole
Mhm.
what do you do in that situation
Yeah.
faff. So I nearly didn't do it, but I did do it, and I really enjoyed it, and then
And
went
it was
from there.
fine. Your
Yeah,
period was fine. No
it was
problem.
fine. It was fine.
I know it's funny the things we worry about. I remember really worrying about like clothing. What am I going to wear? Oh my God, it's like
Yeah.
a disaster. And I put my t-shirt on. I was so worried about the whole not touching your bike thing. I got really stressed about that before you put your helmet on. And so I put my bike helmet on and then was trying to get my t-shirt on over the top.
Ah, I
Didn't go
think
back.
I think I've done similar before. You put your helmet on and then you're like, "Oh god." I do remember once seeing someone who did the whole bike with their goggles on. So,
Nice. Well, kind of like cycling
exactly.
cycling glasses. Yeah.
Exactly. They come in handy.
Yeah. But it sounds quite similar to me. I played hockey on the wing as well. So,
You see, you could just run up and down.
yeah, on the
Yeah.
left I was.
Yes, I couldn't, but the left was really hard because you I
Yeah.
could I'm right-handed, so
Yeah, me
I can't
too.
even yeah. But I just remember the PE teacher, she'd be like, "Go on, Helen Murray. Go on, go on, go on, Helen Murray."
Yeah, they taught me a trick to sort of like scoop the ball back and slide it across, and
Oh,
we
I never
got
got that far.
we got round a few teams. I wasn't very good. I'm not saying, still I'm not in the good team, but that was my one trick.
I don't think I had any tricks apart from I could probably just keep on running.
Just run, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, you
Not
need to run
fast,
on
by
the
the way.
wing.
Not fast. I wouldn't have
Yeah,
had any sprint in me, but I could just keep going.
yeah, yeah. We kind of need that. It's a long game, isn't it? So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
nice. Okay, so you did your first sprint try. What that was 2011, was it?
Yep.
That
2011.
yeah.
Yep.
How many years ago was that?
I don't ask, Celia. I mean, far too long.
Well,
So that
it's
was what?
2024 now, so that's
Yeah. 13.
13 years.
Yeah.
Wow,
It's mad,
that's
isn't it?
terrifying. Um, and so then what happened after that sprint? So you enjoyed it and you were
Yep.
like, okay, I want to do more.
Well, then what happened was, as part of this turning 30 and doing different challenges to raise money, one of the challenges was this Engadin cross country ski marathon.
Ooh,
Yeah, in Switzerland. And so I had signed up to this. Prior to that, I was doing a I don't know, coastal marathon. I think it was coastal marathon. And a lot of my brother's work friends or colleagues or friends were there. And we basically had a few drinks. And it got to the point that they were saying, come on, we're going to go and do the 70.3. And I was
okay.
like, no way. I literally I don't have a bike. I mean, I did the sprint triathlon on my dad's road bike.
Yeah,
I didn't have so I was like, no, just no.
yeah.
Come on, Helen, you're nails. You've just done a marathon today. You'll be fine. I was like, all right then. I'll come and do that. You come and do the ski marathon with me. I don't ski. Well, there we go. Nor do I. Come on.
It's a good bargain, yeah.
So I went and did the Rapperswil 70.3, so in Switzerland. And earlier that year, I had done the Engadin cross country ski marathon. But I actually quite enjoyed the training for that 70.3. I was
Mhm.
utterly, utterly petrified of the whole thing. Petrified. I don't think I had any bike handling skills. I hadn't done all that much open water swimming.
Mm.
Um, I was so scared that I could barely take my I wouldn't have swapped a bottle. on the bike, no way. I just didn't have the confidence to take a bottle out and grab something on the go.
Yeah.
I think I literally had about 2 pieces of malt loaf. So when it came to the run, that was, yeah, a bit of a struggle.
Interesting.
Yeah, interesting, exactly. I mean, it was just dreadful. But I enjoyed the training for it, and I
Mm,
enjoyed the big event of it. I enjoyed the atmosphere and everything. And I think pretty much even before we had gone to Switzerland with these same guys, it was like, we're doing an Ironman next year, aren't we? Yeah. Yeah, all right. Yeah. So then 2013, yeah, we signed up for Ironman Austria. So that was the
wow.
first Ironman.
That's like really quick sort of, sprint, half Ironman. You skipped
Yes.
Olympic, forget that, and just went straight to Ironman and half Ironman and then
I,
Ironman.
yeah, well before that 70.3, I did I did Harlot, so
Oh
Harlech
yeah.
triathlon, and got blown off my bike and ended in a ditch. So that was a real confidence booster. Then I did Slate Man.
Oh God.
And I had
Nice and
to
easy one. I think that was one of my first races as well. I was like, yeah, that looks fun.
I just remember it was freezing. But
Yeah.
also I had 2 punctures on the bike and I didn't even know how to fix the first one. And these lovely 2 girls stopped and helped me. But then got another one and I had the
Oh no.
sweeper bus right by me and this local cyclist actually was going past and had to help me fix it. So yeah, I had a great few little triathlons before Rapperswil,
Yeah,
which
no wonder you
probably
were nervous as well, having just
exactly.
had some quite sort of scary experiences.
So yeah, so that yeah, that's pretty much been where and how it's
Nice.
progressed.
Yeah, so which 70.3 did you do? Where was it?
So
Yeah.
it's in Switzerland in a
Okay.
place called
So is it
Rapperswil
warm?
Jona. Warm.
Warm-ish. Yeah.
Um,
The
no, I don't.
water. I'm thinking of the water
Oh, I think
difference.
you know what? The water was definitely warmer than Snowdonia
Right.
prior to going out there,
Yeah, yeah.
which was freezing. The I don't remember thinking this is horrendously cold.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
remember
because I
that.
was just, like Slate Man probably been quite good
Freezing.
prep for the if it was cold water
It was
because it
freezing.
is so cold. Everybody that does that race is like the water's so cold,
Yeah.
and they don't quite often they don't reduce the time of the swim or anything like that. They're
No,
just like,
no.
this is a triathlon, come on,
I think they
which
find
I
a little.
like.
I think they find a little bit by the shore and make sure that a ducks weed there or something, and then put the thermometer in and go, yeah, that's fine.
I never knew they use that. That's quite a good strategy, isn't it? Nice.
I have no idea if they do, by the way. I'm not. I'm just making
No, I
that
know.
up.
It sounds like it could be true though, because you're like, God, it's so cold.
Exactly.
Can't be allowed to swim in that. And it's early as well, isn't it? So
Yeah.
nothing, I think quite often you're watching the weather thinking, God, but there's got to be some sun at some point just to
Yes.
warm it up a
Exactly.
bit.
Exactly.
Never
Yeah.
happens. So then, so it was last year you did I wanted to talk to you specifically about the rock, but
Yeah.
obviously you've done other stuff. You've done Ironman Wales, haven't you?
Yep.
How many Ironmans have you done?
So I have finished. Let me get this right. I think I finished 3, and then one was a DNF. So Lakesman was a DNF,
Okay.
and I have done Austria, UK, and Wales.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So which is your favourite one?
Out of those ones,
Yeah.
I
I'm not expecting any you to say any of them.
no. So you know what? I loved Bolton when I
Yeah.
did it. I also think that's because I did way better than I had expected.
Right.
And I just had a really good day. I had been to Reykjavik loads. It would have, at the time, I was probably living about an hour away. So it really was on the door. There's no
Yeah.
excuse not to go and Reykjavik. So I felt like I knew it. And yeah, it's just one of those days where it went right and I loved it.
Yeah.
I really, really loved it. 2017, when I did Ironman Wales, the conditions were
Oh,
horrendous,
I remember
and
that year. Yeah.
Yeah, and I didn't realize at the time, but actually I had early signs of a stress fracture
Oh,
in my hip, which is not great. So like the training before it and even on the run, like it was just quite painful,
mm,
as it would be. Obviously, don't do that.
no.
And then Austria again, I enjoyed it, and that was special for a different reason. My brother and I did it together, and I just remember
Nice.
coming out the water and had this tap on my shoulder. I was like, "Oh my god, Tom, what are
Oh.
you doing here?" So yeah, I enjoyed that for a different reason, and the first one and kind of rookie and being out in Austria, and again, I would have done way better than I had thought I did, but I
Mm,
think by 2016, I don't know, I was more competitive and I really felt like, oh wow, that's probably you look back now and you're like, I doubt I'll have another one of those days.
yeah, yeah. I know what you mean. Yeah, definitely. It's like you kind of think, how did I manage that?
Yeah, I don't know.
How will
I
I
literally don't know.
I know. Yeah, well, that's really good. But yeah, I mean, obviously, I live near um, the course for Wales. It goes right past the house, so it's
Nice.
pretty cool. But
But it's
that's
helped so much. If you,
yeah,
especially if you're doing something like an Ironman and you know, you know the bike course
yeah,
in all weathers,
yeah,
you can save so much time.
yeah, definitely. Even like I did Olympic distance down here last, not last year, 2 years ago now. And it's a course I know really well, and just knowing where all the turns are and that you
Yep.
know where you can
Yep.
kind of put power down and stuff, and
Yeah.
it makes a huge difference, definitely.
Massively. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
awesome. So then you did the rock. Was it? It's last year, isn't it? 2023.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
May 2023, I was actually meant to do it in September of 2022,
Okay.
and part of the reason for that is I had seen it anyway, it was on my radar, but then the charity that I work for, so Move Against Cancer, we as a charity are charity partners to The Rock. So
Okay.
I then was able to get a place for September 2022 for the Wales one. I was like, oh, this is brilliant. And kind of get involved with the fundraising side of things in terms of they have like a torchlight run on the beach to help raise money for Move Against Cancer and just help fly the flag, really.
Yeah.
But there's always a but. I broke my wrist.
Oh,
So I wasn't able to do it. And so that was why then I did it in May of 2023.
right. So they moved it to May instead of September then.
So just to kind of add a little bit of confusion here,
Mm.
they had two Wales events, I think for 2 years. I don't know if that was to do with
Okay.
COVID or quite what, I'm not sure. But they
Yeah.
had one in the May, one in the September, and then again 2023, May and September. Whereas 2024, they're only going to be
Just
having the one in Wales, and that's in May.
okay. Oh, that's
Yeah.
cool.
Because they've
Yeah,
also
because
now got Scotland.
right. Okay.
Yeah. So they have the Rock Wales, the Rock England, and the Rock Scotland. So then now they have the Rock
Uh,
trilogy.
oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, tell people about the rock because people won't know what
Yeah. So
probably.
it's it's such a cool format of a triathlon. So it is a triathlon, but I would say it's more of an adventure triathlon. So you with the Rock Wales, let's take that one. So it starts in Abersoch, which is a small village in a beautiful part of northwest Wales on the Peninsula, in the Llyn Peninsula. So it starts with a sea swim, 1,500 meters, and we had perfect conditions last May. It was just beautiful, like, oh, lovely. Then you get on your bike and you cycle 50k to the bottom of the Watkin Path, which
Yeah.
is the hardest path up Snowdon, which is the highest mountain in England and Wales. So you have tea 2 there. I was about to say T1. No,
I,
definitely
I was
T2.
thinking you were going to say tea and
Yeah.
cakes.
Yeah, yeah, but tea and cakes as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, T2. So you get off your bike, then you have to have your mountain bag, and in your mountain bag you have to carry some staple kit. So
Yeah.
like seamed waterproofs and emergency food, the kind of things that if you were going to be doing an ultra run, that. So you've got your vest, you've got your hydration, and then off you go up to the top of the summit of Snowdon.
Yeah.
Checkpoint there, sort of say hello, great, flags, whatever, nice. Come all the way back down,
Yeah.
get back on your bike, ride 50k back to Abersoch,
Yeah.
and then they have another transition, and you do a 1k run on the beach to finish.
Ah, nice. Okay.
So it's
That's
very different.
interesting. Yeah. Yeah.
And I think because it is so different, and because you have a mountain in the middle,
Mm.
you know, you can really go in with that. I think it's a different mindset. Yes, of course you want to go and do well and whatever, but actually you don't have to be stressing about, oh well, normally I do this time on a run, or normally I do this time on a bike, or doesn't matter. It's a massive day out, and I think it's harder than a 70.3,
Yeah.
without doubt.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you've got to run up a big mountain,
You
haven't
got to run a big
you?
mountain. Yeah. And it was just incredible. So if you want a challenge, something different, really good organization,
Mm.
um, and yeah, just a unique format in a beautiful part of the world, check out the Rock
Mm.
triathlons.
I have looked at it. I looked at it a few times, and I was like, "Oh, that looks really good." And I never did it because it was in September, and I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, they're doing it in May now. Maybe I could." But then I've sort of stopped training now, so
Yeah.
I'm not doing it. But yeah, I really like the look of it. It looks awesome. I did an event called the Dragon Duathlon. You heard of
Okay.
that? Where you like ride. We rode from North Wales to South Wales, but you run up like Snowdon, Caderadris, and
Oh, wow.
Van on the way. And
Just
that's
casually.
yeah, just run up there and then back down. It's fine. But we didn't get to run all the way up Snowdon. I was a bit gutted because the weather was so bad. But it was similar, that sort of mindset of like,
Yeah.
I just out here to enjoy this, and I just had such a good time. Sure, can you hear my kids shouting?
No.
Good, because I can. Running up the stairs. I'm sure I did. I forgot to tell them that I was recording. Anyway, hopefully they'll go away in a minute. Yeah, but it was nice. It was just like everybody was just, it was an adventure. You had to have like someone. The logistics of it all got
Mm.
quite complicated as well, which I'm sure it does with that,
There
carrying all
are,
your
you know
nutrition
what?
and things.
Yeah, but I think it's not. I definitely wouldn't let that put anyone off in
Yeah,
terms of, you put in your bag what it says on the list,
yeah,
and you're fine. And actually, because they've got the transition set up, as long as you've got your kit, you're fine.
yeah. And
You're
I
fine.
guess they've got feed stations and things like that.
Yep. So they have at T2 they have that's where they have the feed stations, portaloos, change tent, everything like that.
Nice.
At the top of the mountain, it was more water for an emergency.
Yeah,
Like you meant to be self-sufficient, but when we
yeah.
did it, it was so hot that actually they were finding that they were having to give out
More
some water
water.
at the top. Yeah,
Yeah,
but yeah, honestly, if like don't let logistics put you off. It's not that complicated. Just
yeah,
work
yeah,
your way through the pre-race guide. Make sure you got everything that you need in your bag, and then you're fine. And you just have to actually. It's easier if you give your bag in the way that they do it. If you give it in the night before, then you don't even need to worry about it or think about it.
yeah.
Bingo, done.
Yeah, I'm always in favour of getting things done ahead of
Yeah,
time.
yeah,
Anything you can do like that just saves
exactly. Tick
extra
it off.
stress. Get it done.
Have dinner.
Yeah,
Have an easy night. Don't worry about, oh heck, have I got my space blanket in your bag? Yes, you have, because you've
yeah,
ticked it
you
off your
send
list.
it off. Yeah, no, I was just getting confused, like thinking about the thing that I did. We had to
Mm,
carry everything. There was no. It was
yeah.
really like there was only about 20 people that entered or something, so you
Oh,
have to
wow.
take everything with you,
Proper
and you had to have
adventure.
a car and like pick you
Oh,
up.
yeah. None of that.
No.
None of that. And if you've got people coming to support you, they have other races going on. So the
Okay.
other thing that they in Wales, they have a run sup run, which I always think
Ah,
looks so much
nice.
fun. So run
Yeah.
and then stand up paddleboard and then run. They have a beach bar going on all day long. There's just
Oh,
such a chilled out
awesome.
kind of beach
Yeah.
vibe. It's really nice. So it's difficult if you are a spectator to unless you drive to the foot of Snowdon, and which is
Mm.
possible, it's difficult to spectate apart from the last K on the beach, obviously the swim and then the
Yeah.
last K on the beach. So it's almost like it's a long day out of spectators, but because it's in Abersoch, there's there's plenty of restaurants and cafes and stuff like that. So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
And they put us stuff on as well, thinking
yeah,
of that by the sound of it.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds
They have a
cool.
DJ, it's
Oh,
great.
nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I think like Wales, I don't know, they just put on good events quite often, don't they? I think,
The
yeah,
geography.
yeah,
The geography,
exactly.
the vibe. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
So
it's
was that what
especially
inspired you, like the landscape, the geography, the kind of like being able to run up Snowdon?
yeah, you know what? I think it was originally. So even before I knew that they were charity partners with Move, I think it was just the unique format of it. Like
Mm,
I had done 70.3s, I had done Ironman, I think I had got injured, all that sort of stuff, and I probably thought I just want to do something different.
yeah,
This would grab my attention. I like hiking, I like walking. Um, it will be a challenge, but I'm well up for it.
yeah.
That's what
Okay.
appealed. Yeah.
Nice. And you did it with there was a group of you that did it. When uh,
So when I
how
did it
did
in
that come about?
yeah, so it's all to do with Move Charity basically. So
Okay.
when I did it in May, it was basically just me doing it.
Yeah.
But I was very aware that The Rock doesn't often um I had seen a post and they said something the percentage of their female entrants.
Mm,
And I was like, give me 5 places
yeah.
and I will bring a team of women to your race. We can we'll get them to fundraise for Move.
Yeah.
So that sort of in a way like ticks the Move fundraising box. So we can do that. But actually at the same time, you get something back because I'm going to bring these females, we're going to track their journeys, we're going to hear their stories on the podcast, we're going to find
Yeah.
out all about them. And hopefully, then that will inspire other women to think, you know what, yes, I can do that. So
Yeah.
I had 30 people getting in touch saying, I want one of these
Oh,
places,
wow.
which even that alone is pretty cool
Yeah.
because I think, well, I could have taken 6 teams. Obviously,
Mm.
that, you
They
know,
didn't want to pay for 60.
well, no, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't put, I, yeah. So I would understand that. So no, we had our team
Yeah.
and it was just amazing because we had a WhatsApp group. They were all very, very different. And they supported each other.
Nice.
Um, and their abilities were very different. There were other females who then did actually decide to enter the race after hearing about it,
Yeah.
or maybe think, yep, I'd love to do that. Or The Rock actually said, look, to other people, look, if you raise, I don't know, £250, we can give you this rate, or we can do X or Y. So
Okay.
they were totally on board with trying to bring more females to their races. And
Yeah.
it's, I think it's one of those things that, what is it that, why? And it's like many races, isn't it? Why are there not as many women as men? With The Rock in particular, what's that about? Is it that
Mm.
it's is it the mountain? Is it that it's too challenging? And all of them would say, like all the ones who did it would say, if I can do it, you can do it as well.
Yeah.
So there was something very, very powerful, I think, about that. And it wasn't that, the winning guy literally did it in something sick, amazingly, amazingly rapid.
Yeah.
We weren't there for that. We were
No.
there for, actually, this is totally possible.
Yeah.
It's
And it's a
absolutely
new
possible.
thing. It's something different that you've not done
No,
before, like a variation on stuff that you've done before, but
yeah,
yeah, a
yeah.
different way of looking at it. Do you remember what the numbers were for like percentages for entries or?
I don't want to get the wrong figure, but I don't know if it was. And there's a big difference with what I'm about to say. I don't know if it was 12% or 20%. I think it might have been 12 originally.
Yeah. I can't think what it is normally. It's like 20
Yeah,
at Wales, or it was one year 20% or something like that.
yeah, yeah. So,
Whether
but definitely a big difference. So yeah,
mm,
that was my aim. Thinking, you know what, if we can, inspire some other women to think that sounds awesome, I can absolutely do that, or you know
yeah,
what, maybe I can't do it this year, but I'm going to work for that, and I can do that next year.
yeah. And I like I think that sort of supportive atmosphere that you get with women when they get in a group together like
Yeah.
that. It's just, it's really nice to
Oh, it's
see, and it's
infectious.
just
It's
good.
just
Yeah.
fantastic. So even before the race, because I was there, so I wasn't doing it in September with them. I said I'm going to be chief cheerleader.
Mm.
But even before the race, I was there on the beach with them and just looking at the sunrise over, over the hills, and it's just like, oh wow, this is incredible. And it just felt like a really special thing. And then there were some other women, shout out Kelly and shout out Kath, who had entered. They put their names in the hat actually, but they hadn't got pulled out.
Okay.
But they kind of found us and joined us, and we were all cheering each other
Nice.
on, and it was just so cool.
Yeah, it's really nice. Yeah, I like it's a different vibe, isn't it? A
Mm,
totally different vibe to what you get. I was just like, this might seem a bit random, but I'm gonna give an example. I was at a climbing comp on Saturday
mm,
with and took my son, who's like a teenage boy,
yeah,
and it's like really busy with quite a lot of young people, and there was the problems were separated into like men and women's problems, but
mm,
there was some that were both men and women, and some that were,
mm,
there was one problem that was just for women. And I get to the women's one and I'm like, oh god, there was queues everywhere and people were like pushing in and what have you. We got to the women's one and the women are like, do you want to go? You go first. First. And it was like such a different atmosphere to there to
yeah,
than other ones where everyone's like, gotta get in my place, gotta
yeah.
get on the boulder quick and pushing people out the way and stuff. It's like, why can't everyone just be nice to you?
I don't know. I don't know. It's so different, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just like a different like way of behaving, I suppose.
Mm,
It's like we kind of like can support each other. But I think sometimes we kind of like, I felt like I was taking you're sort of trying to be nice too much sometimes
mm,
then, and not then taking your place and taking up the space
mm,
that you need.
mm.
So there's like a balance with it, isn't there, that you've got to get. But
Yeah,
yeah, there were
yeah.
some girls that kept going, no, you go. And I was like, no, you go. And they were just letting everyone go in front. I was like, no, you really need to go now.
Go on, push, elbows out,
Yeah,
elbows out.
yeah, go for it. It's like in a swim, isn't it? When you're like, right, you've got to get, take up your space, and obviously not aggressively, but you do
No.
need to be confident and be able to use your space. And maybe
Definitely.
that's something that puts women off, is that kind of, especially with that swim environment, it is
Mm,
about taking up space and being like, I deserve to be here. I've got
mm,
just as much right to be in the water as anyone else, and
mm.
I can be assertive with my space. I'm not I'm not trying to put anyone off by making it sound, but do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's I mean, I don't know exactly what it exactly boils down to.
No.
But
It's different for everyone as
I
well,
think
isn't
it
it?
is different for everyone. I really do think it's different for everyone. And I was just thinking the other day I was doing a local running race, and it's a bit like a cross country league, but it's on road instead. And I was just chatting to the person next to me in the queue for the toilets, and
Mm.
that's me. I like doing that before
Yeah.
before a race. But then other people would hate that and just want to be in their zone, or like, I don't need to talk to anybody. I'm happy. I'm confident. I'm happy days,
Mm.
off we go. So yeah, there's no right or wrong. I think yeah, everyone deserves to be there, and everyone deals with sort of sport, I think, in a very
Mm.
different way.
Yeah, and it teaches you a lot about yourself, I find, because I notice I'm like, okay, I'm doing that thing again when I let everyone go in front of me and don't like, make space for me. So I
Mm.
kind of pick that up, and I think that's a really valuable thing that we can all get from the sport is that noticing of, okay, what am I doing and how it affects you then with your confidence going into other things. So,
Yep, yep.
bringing people into something like the rock is
Mm.
going to help them not just enter races, but it's going to
No.
help with all of your life because you start noticing those patterns of behavior
Yeah.
through the racing that you can then implement. Well, that's what I found anyway.
Yeah,
I
I
think it's
think
helped me grow like as a person massively doing
yeah.
triathlon.
I remember um after the first Ironman I did, and I just had almost this, not a glow, but this thought in my head of, I can literally do anything. I've just done that. I remember I did. I wore my t-shirt in the office with pride.
Yeah.
I really did. The day after, I thought, I don't care. I'm going to put it on. And I just thought, prior to that, I had felt sometimes in a work environment not particularly confident, and it didn't change overnight. I'm not saying that there'd still be situations whereby I don't feel
Mm.
confident in a particular situation, but I do remember thinking, like, that person has never thought I'm capable of stuff in a work situation. I think they've always just thought I'm a bit shit. And actually, me then having done that, I thought, I have a bit more respect, like almost this respect. I kind of thought in my head, I wonder if that's changed his view, even if he didn't know I was doing it. To be honest,
Mm.
I probably thought, well, stuff you, mate. I've done an Ironman.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I know what you mean. You feel like I've done something really hard that other
Yeah, it
people
was
have
that.
not done.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was that. And at the time, yeah, 2013, there I didn't know that many people in that work environment who had done one.
You've done something like that.
No.
Yeah. No, it definitely helps with that confidence and thinking I've done something pretty amazing.
Yeah.
And then I guess like when you do that, the way internally you feel it, so externally you start presenting different, so you
Yeah.
interact with people in a different way because of
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Almost
massive.
that small voice in your head, which previously might be thinking, "Oh, I'm going to hide in a corner, and I don't really want to, you know, s- bring up an idea in a meeting." Actually, then you're like, "Well, you just say it."
Yeah, definitely. Oh, that's awesome. That's how. So it's like an advertisement for endurance events.
Yeah,
it's
definitely.
not just it's not just the endurance event. It's like everything, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
And so many people you start out going, I want to do this challenge, and you're not sure why, and then you kind of go through the process, and it's like, oh wow, I'm learning all this stuff about myself. It's amazing. It's so
Yeah.
cool.
I think there's a lot in that, and I think there's that satisfaction from having done something that perhaps at some point you really could never have imagined. and
Yeah.
eh, and there's the discipline that comes with it all. The friendships is one of the biggest things I think that for me has come out of triathlon. The
Yeah.
the friendships, without doubt. I'd almost say
Yeah.
that's the top. And then obviously, yes, I'm fitter. I probably feel healthier. I've been to different places. I've had different experiences. I've probably my whole working life has probably taken a bit of a change because of
Yeah.
it. So there's all that sort of stuff. It's not for me. There's far more to it than a training plan.
Yeah, definitely. It's like a lifestyle kind of overhaul,
Yeah,
basically, isn't it?
yeah.
And even when you come out of it as well, like, so I'm not training now for big endurance events, but I'm doing other stuff. But you can apply that stuff
Mm.
like in different sports or whatever you want, like whatever comes up in your life. It's like, okay, right, we've
Yeah.
got this.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And it's like with any, with any job, I guess, I'm not, God, I'm not saying it was a job, it wasn't at all. But with any job, you learn skills. So with
Mm,
anything in life, you learn skills that then you transfer onto other things, whether that is a transferable work skills. So, okay, you did a particular communication role. Actually, well then, okay, you can communicate with people. You can use
mm,
that in something else or whatever it is. I think there's always ways that we can adapt and change as people.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, one of the things that I think has helped a lot is that controlling the controllables.
Mm,
Like that's one of the things that I say to people when they're preparing for a race. Okay,
mm,
what can we control? What can you do to minimize, like you're saying, handing your bag in and that kind of
mm,
thing, controlling those things. So that's something that you can do. Like when some stress, like we've got a load of family stress at the moment, it's like, whoa. And you go, okay, well, what can we control? What steps can we take that are in our control? Do that, and then everything else sort of feels like it's a bit easier. It's okay now. So
mm.
that's another skill that's
Come out
definitely
of it.
come out of it. And I think, the more people that we can get doing that stuff, it's going to help them with all
Mm,
sorts of things in their life. So I think that's amazing that you inspired the women to do it. Really good. And your goal, you said, was just to enjoy it and
yeah.
kind of have a slightly different challenge to what you've been doing, and you
Yeah.
didn't want to compare your times to other stuff as well.
Oh
So
no, I couldn't. I
that's that.
literally couldn't give a damn about that. I so last year, 2023, my big thing was something called the Pan-Celtic race. So
Okay.
that's a big bike packing race, which I did as a pair with the amazing Larry Bowen. And so yeah, that was what my main focus was. It
Okay.
wasn't the rock. So um yeah, that was why for me it was a big day out, a bit of a hit out, get a sea swim under my belt, get a triathlon under my belt. I hadn't done one for probably since that DNF, the Lakesman DNF, which I think was
Okay.
2021.
Right.
Um so yeah, that's and obviously importantly being there as well for Move Charity.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. So, like, I'm going to ask you what your training looked like. But if you weren't really focusing, you were probably more focused on your bike than the rock. If you're doing a big bike
Yeah,
session.
but I was also doing Ironman Wales. So,
Okay. Oh.
so my what did my training look like? Yeah, to be honest,
Shouldn't
I
I ask that question?
no, 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 absolutely no, totally ask it.
Yeah.
So it was pretty at the time I was following more of a plan rather than having specific one-on-one coaching. But that plan, well, actually rewind. So the summer before,
Mm.
July 22, obviously I was meant to be doing it in September.
Yeah.
So I had been, prior to breaking the wrist, I had been up the Watkin Path twice.
Right.
So I had already recce'd it, um, very, very purposefully for the rock, thinking, "I don't know it, I need to go and see what that path's like." So
Yeah.
I felt like I had ticked that off in terms of, I know what it's like, so I'm
Yeah.
not gonna stress too much about that. So rewind again then to 2023, I did do a couple of sea swims, before it, because it was really early. It must have been, I don't know, I want to say something like May the 12th.
Uh,
So
it's
the 2
cold.
weekends, yeah, it was pretty early. The 2 weekends prior, I had tried to get in the sea, just
Mm.
thinking, just you need to like acclimatize to it because it's going to be cold, so
Yeah.
crack on. And then other than that, I didn't do uh run sessions. I didn't do I was doing hill reps definitely for running.
Yeah.
They've pretty much been a almost like a constant. So I
Yeah.
definitely would have done hill reps. But genuinely, other than that, it was just pretty standard triathlon training. Because
Yeah.
again, if I go back to 2022, the big thing I did that year was a 3-day ultra marathon.
Okay.
So I had done so much hiking,
Yeah.
uh, hiking and hills and elevation and kit and all that sort of stuff. So like I knew what was going to be going in my kit bag. Like I was happy with all that sort of stuff.
Mm.
And so really, it was a case of just just being fit,
Yeah.
but it wasn't totally specific towards the rock.
Yeah. So you had like probably more biking
Yeah,
in because of your other thing as well.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Cool. So how much training were you doing a week? Can you remember?
It would have been probably like 9 hours.
Okay. It's
Yeah,
not too bad then.
no, 9 or 10. Yeah.
That's all right. It's not like 20 or something
Oh
like
God, no. I don't know.
that.
I honestly, Celia, if you said to me you've got to do 20 hours of training,
I know it's not.
I wouldn't be doing it. There's no way. There
No.
is no way I would be happy trying to do work full time,
Mm,
be a present wife, be a present daughter, be a good friend,
mm.
learn Welsh, dog walks. There's literally no way I would
Yeah,
find
yeah,
balance with that. That I wouldn't. And it's so no. I know I can have balance in my life. I can train hard and I can train consistently with anywhere between sort of 9 to 11 hours.
yeah. Okay. Yeah,
And
that's
obviously I
super.
know, okay, nearer race time, yes, that'll be
It might go up for
a
like
bit
longer
up.
bike rides and things
Yeah,
like that. But
yeah,
yeah, that's pretty much what most people that I coach that are, doing a day job
yeah,
will be able to manage on top
yeah,
of everything else. So
totally,
yeah, and it is
totally.
completely doable. Um, you don't need to be doing like 20 hours is like elite sort of
That's like,
level. I did it
well,
once.
how long for?
Not just it was only like a couple of weeks. I think I had just 20-hour week or something. But that was when I was trying to qualify for Kona. So
Mm.
I did a lot, but it wasn't I wouldn't have wanted to carry on
I
doing
was
it.
going to
I
say, did
only
you
did
feel
it
like
once.
you had balance in your life?
Um It was all right because I wasn't working full time. I was coaching athletes, but I didn't have loads of athletes to
Mm.
coach.
Yeah,
Um,
so then it's almost like there
so
is time then.
I had time. I
Yeah,
wouldn't. There's no way I would do that. Like, you know, people sort of see what you've done and they go, "Oh, how did you manage that?" I'm like, "Wait, I was like, that was what I
your
was
work
doing.
enabled you to do
That
it.
was
Yeah,
pretty much what I was doing. That was
yeah,
like my job to
yeah,
just go and train. And I obviously have kids, so I was
yeah,
looking after them and things. But made a way to fit it in because
mm.
I really wanted to achieve
Yeah,
that goal. But
yeah.
you know, I wouldn't. I
No,
wouldn't
I think,
recommend it, but
oh no,
if you
I think
can't,
on a training camp or something when
yeah,
if you've specifically gone abroad, and you're there, you're in the sunshine,
yeah,
obviously, and you don't have to go, oh God, I need to put that wash on, or oh I need to do that. Like it's doable as a one-off, but
Yeah, and you can get a lot of benefit from that, if you are out of your normal situation.
mm,
But for most people, training just needs to be sustainable and consistent
yeah,
most of the time,
yeah,
and get a few long rides and runs in to prepare you. So
yeah.
yeah, nice. Okay. So how did it go on the race day? Did you have like any setbacks? Was there anything that unexpected that
With the
happened? Or
rock,
yeah.
yeah. So I loved it. I loved it. So the swim, as I say, the conditions were really good. It was pretty pancake flat. It was, yeah, lovely temperature. I probably had a few issues with sighting. I often do, to be honest, especially in a sea swim. And part of the reason for that is that I wear glasses on a daily basis. I don't have
Okay.
contacts. I don't have prescription goggles. So I just struggle to see properly, which I think is pretty explainable. And
Yeah.
then especially if the water's, I mean, I find it even harder. So yes,
Yeah.
my ideal swim would be a lake swim with buoys every 100, 200
Yeah.
meters, then I have a chance of seeing it. And then when I can see something, I'm I'm not awful at, sorry, let's spin that.
Yeah.
I'm pretty good at swimming in a straight line if I can see where I'm going to.
Yeah.
So that bit, yeah. The bike out, I really enjoyed. There were people around me, and yeah, it was just like it felt like there were other people around. The As soon as I got off the bike, I thought, oh Christ, oh my God, these legs feel great for going up a mountain. I just thought, stuff it. I am gonna just shovel food in, and I am going to route march it up this mountain. So I
Mm,
just thought, you know what? I'm not going to be great at running up it. So I'll walk it, I'll speed hike it. And
mm,
I feel like I got in a groove and I got in the rhythm. So was that a setback? Probably. I probably thought I would have been able to jog a bit more of it to
mm,
um it's almost in two sections, in that maybe even three. Like it starts off in the valley, and then it gets a bit more like steps and rocky,
mm.
and then it gets really rocky at the very end. Like it is a hands and knees
Yeah,
scramble.
yeah.
It really is. um, but actually, on the way back down, I I ran it and I felt good going back down, and because I had fueled well, that
Yeah.
was
You
happy
didn't
days.
have just your malt loaf.
No, I didn't just have a malt loaf. I had sandwiches. I was loving it. I literally
Good.
thought, what did I have last year on the Highland Ultra? Solid food for going up a mountain. Right, I'm going to go solid food.
Mm.
So I had a selection. It was great. And then back on the bike,
What were in your sandwiches? Sorry.
I had one Nutella, one peanut butter and jam, and one cheese.
Nice. Okay.
I clearly made an indent on my memory because this is now nearly a year ago, and I can remember what I had in those sandwiches.
Were you rotating as well? So, or was it like
No,
so?
I think I literally just was like, oh, what can I get? Oh,
Yeah,
that'll do.
out.
Yeah, fine. Shove it in. Back on the bike on the way back, so the 50K back, I remember singing to myself.
Mm,
Um, I did not enjoy that bike back. I found it quite lonely because there was no one around at that point, and
mm.
it felt like just a drag. Um, so yeah, I wasn't loving the bike back. Um,
No.
and then the run on the beach, I quite enjoyed. There was another female who wasn't far behind me coming into transition, and I thought, yeah, not having me. I was like, I am gonna run hard. Yeah, and would have just, obviously it wasn't that fast, but she didn't overtake me.
Was it enough? Yeah.
Yeah,
Nice.
so I was like, oh,
So, what did
phew.
you sing on the bike? Because I've done that before, and it's
Yeah,
really awful.
I can't remember if it was Les Mis. I probably told someone somewhere, but yeah, it might have been Les Mis or something like that. It just, it's like, this is not a good place to be, and that tells me that I mean, my concentration had obviously just gone. I remember
Yeah.
fidgeting loads on the bike. I was just
Mm,
not comfortable.
yeah. But you had enough to
Yeah.
finish at the end.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I sang Chesney Hawkes' "I Am the One and Only" on 100-mile time trial.
Did it go round
Oh
and round in
god.
your head?
I was just like, it was it was like pissing with rain. It was
Mm.
they'd cancelled loads of events because there was a storm, but they didn't cancel this one, and I was like quite pleased because
Gutted.
I
Okay.
needed to ride 100 miles. It was in my like focused phase, and I remember just being like that, going, I am
I am the
the
one and
one.
only.
Because no one else is out in this bloody weather. Although there were, because there was a load of time trialers out. Well, not that many. I think a lot of people decided that they weren't going to do it.
Oh.
It was so
Oh.
bad. But
Yeah. Hey,
hey,
needs must sometimes.
yeah, character building, isn't
Yeah. Yeah.
it? That's what I say. Awesome. So, what are you working towards now? What are your goals on the horizon? Have you got any?
Yeah. So I am doing Challenge Roth this year.
Awesome. That's
So
another one I want to do. Yeah.
yeah. So actually, before that, so I am so I'm doing Challenge Roth, okay, and I've known that I've been doing that for 2 years. It was my mum's fast fingers. I was like, Mum, I'm doing it. I'm going to be in the sea. I'm going to be doing a sea swim session, but this is. Could you have a go for me? And she was like,
Right.
Yeah, I'll have a go. Nailed it. I was like, Mum,
Mm.
you're just too good. So I originally had the place to do it last year, but because of doing the Pan Celtic, I was like, I want to do the Pan Celtic. It was going to be in Brittany and then cycling back up to Wales. I was like, I totally am doing that and I'm going to defer Roth.
Mm.
So let me go back to I mentioned I was meant to be doing Ironman Wales last year,
Yeah.
2023.
Okay.
So the week before, my appendix decided to burst.
Oh no.
So I needed open surgery and it was not all that fun. And I thought,
Mm.
oh, I thought I had missed the deferral. I put it in like literally the Saturday of like the week before. I
Yeah.
thought I've missed it. Damn it, little money grabbing people. then
I know.
and then afterwards, maybe like a week after Ironman Wales, I got an email saying, you can now secure your place. I was thinking, oh, damn it. Oh, man. And then I was like, oh, God, that means I'll be doing Roth and Wales in the space of a year. I've never done two,
2 Ironman in a
and
year.
I'm not that bothered about doing two.
Mm.
It's like in my head, I was thinking Roth, and then I'm out of this game. I'm like, I'm retiring from
Mm.
triathlon. I'm done. And even at Christmas time, so Christmas 2023, I was like, no, I'm totally not doing 10B. I am gonna work my butt off for Roth, but
Mm.
I just want to enjoy the summer. I want to do fun stuff. I don't want to be on a training plan.
Yeah.
And then Lucy Gossage obviously does amazing stuff for Move Charity. I'm lucky to call her, a colleague, a friend. And there she was doing this blooming winter spine race, raising an incredible amount of money for Move Charity, like nearly 30 grand. And you're just like, that is
Mm.
insane. I've been working for the charity for 5 years. And yes, I do. I work for the charity. I love the charity. We do so much amazing stuff. But I was like, if Lucy's done that, I was like, I'm gonna have to do some fundraising, aren't I? So then I thought, you know what? Actually, Lucy, thank you. That's brilliant. I'm going to turn this year into more of a fundraiser
Mm.
for Move Against Cancer.
Yeah.
So I am going to do Ironman Wales, and I'm
Yay.
going to do it with the aim of I want to raise some money for Move Against Cancer. So, getting to answer your question, finally, you're thinking, come on, Helen, answer the
No,
bloody
it's
question.
fine.
So, I start with the Shropshire Way 80K Festival in April. This is an
Okay.
80K. Again, I wouldn't recommend doing this. However, I've wanted to do it for a few years and I'm like, life is too short. Just bloody
Yeah.
sign up.
Yeah, yeah.
Just sign up. do it as a hike. So it's very much open to walkers or hikers. It is 80k.
Mm.
You have a 24-hour time limit. I'm like, go and do it as a hike. And then, yes, there'll still be some recovery involved, but not as much as if I was going to go and try
Try
and
and
run
run.
it and get
Yeah.
injured, which forget that. I'm not playing that game.
No.
So we have the Shropshire 80k, which I am so excited about.
Yeah.
It's all about the food. They have pie halfway round. They have stew. I'm like, bring it on. Then I'm going to be
Nice.
doing Roth. Then
When's Roth then?
Roth is the first weekend of July.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Then, and this is what I told Mark, the coach. I said, Mark, I've decided I'm going to do Ironman Wales. However, what I hadn't said to you, you need to know this, is with Move Charity, we're going to be doing a big hiking fundraiser at the Edale Skyline, which is 21 miles, August the 31st. So I was like,
Right.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to stay away from Lucy Gossage, but I will be doing that.
Yeah.
Then, I think on the 8th of September, I'm going to be doing a swim run with my husband Rich, which we were meant to do last year after Ironman Wales, but obviously burst appendix meant I couldn't do
You
it.
couldn't do it.
So the lovely organizer Mike has deferred our entry. So 2 weeks before Ironman Wales, I'm going to be doing the swim run.
They're quite long, aren't they? Swim
Yeah,
runs?
it's pretty long. Yeah.
Okay.
But this goes back to my point of I am now doing Ironman Wales as part of a bigger fundraising picture. So
Yeah.
Roth is the A race. I am working my bum off for Roth. I want to just go and enjoy it. That is the aim. Tembe, I literally want to go and enjoy the atmosphere and get around. I'm quite scared that it's so late on in September. I am pretty sure I will get dreadful weather like 2017, but I feel
No.
now, having done the Pan Celtic last year in god awful conditions on some days,
Mm.
and having done Ironman Wales in 2017, I know I'm going to be fit enough, so I'm like, I just want to go and enjoy the day.
Yeah, and even if it's bad weather, you know you've dealt with those conditions
exactly.
before. I'll be praying to the weather gods for you.
Thank you.
I've got someone in the group that's doing it as well, or meant to be. She might have to defer, I'm not sure. But yeah, last year we had a few, and it was nice. It's just, I love the event. I
It's
always
amazing.
go and watch.
Honestly, it's amazing.
But yeah, I can keep an eye out for you then.
Please do. Please do. I need all cheers. That's you. If you're going down and cheering on, please give me a cheer. Please don't just stand there and half-assed clap. Doesn't do anything for me. Go mental, go nuts. You will get everything back from me. I will go nuts with you whilst on the bike or on the run.
That's awesome. Yeah, I usually go to Templeton, up, you know, in the hill there.
Yeah.
What are you wearing? Do you know? It's a bit early to ask. But
no, I was thinking about this today, actually.
You know, I can look for coloured helmet. That really helps when if tips, if you're a spectator, look out for helmet colour.
Oh, definitely. I think last year, because we were still down there, because we obviously had the accommodation, and I managed to spectate for about an hour, and I was like, I need to go home and lie down. I feel awful. But I think I cheered on. There were definitely a few people I called Emily, thinking I was cheering on Emily Marchant.
Okay.
And then got the right one.
Yeah, eventually. I know sometimes you're like, yeah, go on, and then you're like,
there were quite a few Geraints as well who weren't Geraints, but hey, they got cheers too.
That doesn't matter. It's all good. It's all good. Yeah. So, do you know what you're wearing?
So it's either going to be I have a Hoob tri-suit, which is that sort of faded turquoise one, which probably quite a few have got. Though I was thinking today, this is what I was thinking today, Celia.
Yeah.
If Move had a tri-suit, because we have running vests, if we had a tri-suit, I would 100% wear that.
Okay.
But we currently don't.
Well, you need to
I need to speak to the powers that be.
What colour is your helmet?
White and turquoise.
Okay. Because that's the first thing that I usually spot is people's helmets, and then I kind of go, if they've got that colour's helmet on, then I look at their kit and I do this sort of like
I'm quite impressed that you're making notes like 6 months out. This is amazing.
I'll probably forget where this
probably
paper is. You're like, where's that thing? Yeah, so no, I will. Hopefully, I'll be there. I don't think we're doing anything this. Oh, there was something that came up. Yeah, my son's going to university,
Mm.
um, or hopefully going to university. So as long as we're not having to
Drop him off.
take him somewhere, then I will definitely be there because it's quite late, isn't it, this year as
Yeah.
well?
Yeah.
Um,
22nd.
yeah, yeah. So oh no, that's my youngest birthday.
Oh, you won't be there then. Scrap the bit about the helmet.
Got the helmets. Yeah, no, it is. It's his birthday on that day.
Yeah, unless
I was
Pete's
like,
out in Tembe.
I might be
Fine.
able to. I don't know. It depends what he wants to do. He's obsessed with climbing, so that's all he wants to do. And unless
There you
we
go.
can
Climb in the morning.
move
Come
it to
into town for the run.
Saturday. Your birthday's Saturday this year instead
Yeah.
of Sunday.
Climb in the morning. Come into town for the run, and have pizza or whatever he wants sorted.
Yeah. Wait, we might be able to persuade him. There's not about 1 year. I'm going to just tell you this story because it's quite fun. Because thinking about birthdays and stuff, it's nothing to do with triathlon. But my eldest, we were traveling back and we booked this holiday, and I was like convinced I'd booked it all fine. We were going to get back the day before his birthday. We get on the ferry, and I'm like, well, we like the day before. I was like, oh, I've booked us traveling back on the day of his birthday. We just won't tell him that it's the date of his birthday because he was quite young. Anyway, we got to the passport office. You know, when you're coming back in off the ferry, and the passport woman was like,
Oh.
"Oh, and happy," and we were like, "Shh," and she went, "You naughty mummy!" I felt so bad. It was so funny though. We did it the next day though.
Oh,
We did
that's
the
all right
whole,
then.
we planned it, but I just totally forgot that it was that day when I was booking.
Oh,
That's
it's
not good, is
easily
it?
done. No, it's
It is.
easily done.
It is easily done.
It's easily done. Don't
Thank
worry
you.
about it.
Thanks.
Don't worry.
Anyway, so yeah, so where can people find out about the Move charity if they want to sponsor you or help out in any way, or any other things that you want to link to or
Yeah.
tell people about?
So if you haven't heard Inside Tri Show, then go and check it out. It still exists. It's still there. Like there's an amazing interview actually with Lucy after her skyline. I can't even think what she did, but the thing in January, the spine race, the winter spine. So insidetrishow.com.
Yeah.
And then, yes, Move Against Cancer is a charity. We help and inspire and support people to be physically active following a cancer diagnosis. So, specifically, I work with 13 to 30-year-olds. We have an online program, it's one on one. So, I help young people to build up their fitness, build up their strength, build up their confidence again following a cancer diagnosis. It doesn't matter where they are in the UK or Northern Ireland, it's an online program, so it's amazing. It works.
Yeah.
And then the other thing that, the other two things that we have a whole load of resources.
Okay.
So lots of workshops, articles, inspiring blogs, podcasts, everything, all with that link to physical activity. And then the other brilliant thing is the 5K Your Way initiative, which is linked to Park Run. It's a cancer support group. It's on the last Saturday of the month, and it's about encouraging anyone affected by cancer. So whether that's a patient, a healthcare professional, family, friends, go along once a month to your nearest 5K Your Way group. It's not about running it. You can if you want, but it's not about that. It's going, it's having other people around you, going and having a catch up over a coffee afterwards. And all of these things are absolutely changing lives and having such a positive impact on people at a really crappy time. So Google Move Against Cancer charity.
I can put the links
It'll all come up
in the notes as well, so I'll get that in the show notes.
That'd be amazing. And then I've got a Just Giving, which I will send over to you and then bung it in the show notes.
That'd be amazing. Okay, well, it's really nice to talk to you. Thank you again for
It's a pleasure
joining me.
Thank you so much for the invite.
Your stomach's not too rumbly.
It's all good.
But yeah, it's dinner time now, isn't it?
Yeah, it's fine. No, thank you so much for the opportunity. And just go and do the rock. And as I said, I think when I finished the other podcast, enjoy life beyond the training plan as well.
Yeah, definitely. For sure. That's a good thing to end on. Thank you. Thanks for listening today. Have a great day. Take care. Bye for now.